Yeah, she feels good compression-wise, but I agree, it won't start. Let's get it on the bench, take a look and see what's going on. So what we're looking at here is a Toro. Guaranteed to start. GTS 140cc GTS. I'm guessing that's guaranteed to start. But yeah, as you can tell, she's not. It's been sitting over the winter. I'm suspecting we may have some fuel issues because that's usually what happens when it sits over the winter and doesn't want to start. It's also possible Fluffy moved in and is messing with the automatic choke. You know, I mean, it might not be sitting properly. Let's take a look and see what's going on. So when I say Fluffy moved in, there is a, let's see it. That filter looks pretty bad. Yeah, that filter's kind of bad. So when Fluffy moves in, it's possible that the linkage that turns this choke, you know, to closed, and it's thermostatically controlled. So it's basically should be closed when it's cold and then open when it's hot. And if there's a nest or something inside there that's attached, you know, to this thermostatically controlled arm on this side, it will keep that sitting open or potentially keep it sitting closed depending upon what happened. But the very first thing I noticed is that the choke is actually sitting closed like it's supposed to be. So this plate right here, that's what I'm talking about. Let's close this bail. And did that close? No, it didn't seem to move, did it? Let's find out if maybe that rod that's inside there is occluded somehow. It is super hot today, so I'm not expecting it to be fully closed, but let's just hit a little bit of flammable liquid in there and give it a try. All right, so she does run, and if you look, that choke is somewhat closed, so it's probably pretty accurate. I'm suspecting we've got a fuel problem because it didn't keep running after I, you know, did that just now, and it should have. So let's get to the carburetor and maybe get what's inside this tank, you know, the bottom of it, drained into a cup or something and see what's going on. So something I'd like to know, when it's guaranteed to start, who's guaranteeing that it's going to start? Because obviously it doesn't. Who's guaranteeing it? So 9:30 seconds on those two. 5/16 on those two. There should be a breather back here. A breather tube that connects here to right there. And then, so this will pull straight out, but I might want y'all to see the linkages before I do. Tell you what, let's get a fuel sample. There's no shutoff on this, so it's just going to be a crude fuel sample. But if there's water in here, it should have settled to the bottom. That might be enough. I don't know, it really doesn't look bad. So you don't have to do this part. I'm going to take this cover off so that you guys can see how the linkages run. Just know that if you just pulled and then twisted and you know, pulled that part loose, this will come out. Just know that you don't have to do this part. I'm just doing it so y'all can see it. I'll shut off the fuel, pull off the top cover. 3 5/16 bolts. So this is the part that I wanted to show you. You see this right here? This right here is that thermostatically controlled choke plate. So when this gets hot, it's going to push open and it's going to keep this open. This right here should spring load back closed with this spring right here. So when you do that, right? Should do one of those. It didn't close completely before, and I'm suspecting there was a little bit of dirt inside there. And then this carburetor is basically held on right now with just an O-ring on the back side. So when I just pull straight out on the carburetor, it's going to come loose from the block. And what holds it in is that piece of plastic that we just removed that mashes this onto that, onto that O-ring. So we're just going to pull it loose. And I'm going to tilt two different directions. Once to get this Z-bend out, and then once to get this Z-bend out. So we're going to do that. I'm going to pull that fuel line back loose again that I just finished putting back on. Okay, so I'm going to tilt once this direction and pull that one out. And then I'm going to direct this direction and get that one out. Okay, these should be quarters. But the 9/30 seconds takes them off. It's hard to get the money shot to show you what this thing looks like because it just starts draining as soon as you get it loose. And it's just an O-ring that is keeping tension on this bolt. Yeah, that's what I was trying to avoid. All right. Anyhow, I don't know if y'all can see it. I got gas everywhere right now. I don't know if y'all can see it, but there was dirt inside here. So we'll spray that out. And then the needle came out when I pulled, pulled it apart. So just lift the float up out of that little snap groove. So it floats out. And then this only goes in one way. You can try to put it in the other direction, but it should stop you and keep you from going completely flush like this. So, and pull that out. And then this comes apart. Just wiggle it. Come on. Let's see. It's almost there. There we go. And then that's how you clean out the emulsion tube aspect of it. So there's little passages in through here and through here. Try not to get it on that brown seal right there because it'll make it expand. Nice part is this is plastic, you know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of corrosion, forming, but it doesn't stop the dirt and the water from forming. That's it. That's all there is to it. We'll spray off some of the dirt, just make sure it's moving okay. And all I'm doing there is just making sure that this moves okay, that this is moving freely, right, that spring. And then the arm, this thermostatic arm, pushes this, right? And that's pretty much it. Guess I could make sure that these passages are clear. Yeah, not a lot to them. They warp. They have strange problems. You know, they'll heat up and start expanding and contracting and doing all kinds of weird stuff. But the replacement that you put on might be even worse. You know, so you got to be careful on these where you buy them from. I do buy aftermarket ones of these. I'll be the first to admit it, but sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 to get a good one, and which is odd, right? Some of them that I've received have the float has been set to where, you know, like the seat itself won't be in the right position, and it'll be forced to sit like this, and no matter how much gas you put in it, the float never moves because there's not enough room. So just quality control issues is what I've run into. The plastic hasn't necessarily been bad, just the quality control stuff. So you can kind of see how it goes back together. It's really straightforward. It's a little bit tighter than I'm used to with those things going together, but there we go. All right, that's back together. Like I said, this only goes on one way, because if I tried to put it on backwards, it's not going to sit down inside there. So it only goes on one way. Mashes back down like that. Again, the needle and the float and the needle only go on one way. And it snaps back on. If it's together properly, careful when you go to do this, put your finger so that the float can't fall too far. Air goes that way. If I flip it over and there's gravity, it does not go that way. So hopefully that makes sense. Back together just like that. And there's your carb rebuild. Super easy, right? I'm not going to say rebuild, it's a clean out is what it is. Just to make sure, let's get just a little bit more fuel out of this thing. Because it had an opportunity to sit. Hands are shaking. It smells a little bit funny, but I don't see water in it. That's the crazy part. Normally I would have condemned the fuel, but it really doesn't smell too bad. Excuse me, it doesn't look bad. It smells bad. Make sure there's no dirt in here. Make sure this lip is nice and clean, because this O-ring that's inside this white part. So the white part's a ring, and then there's an O-ring inside that is going to do the sealing for us. This one goes on here, right? And then this one goes up into here. You guys see how it's done? So it was easier for me to, you know, flip it around like that. But anyway, so this one's in here, and then this one's in here, and then as this opens up, it opens up that valve. Put that O-ring back on there, that, you know, that seal. Make sure that's on there nice and good. Get our fuel line back on. and let it start filling up that bowl. Because if it's not sealing up, you know, even though we just checked it with air, if it's not sealing up, this right now it's going to start coming out, and we will see it. Looks like it's doing okay. All right, so this right here is going to stab back into this part right here, this hose. And then the screws that go back into the carburetor, because it's a plastic carburetor, so it's a plastic style screw. See the coarse threads there? And then the ones that are the machine style screw, those go into the metal. Get the starter cover put back on. The filter is, I mean, it's dirty. It's got stuff inside the pleats, but generally it's not too bad. I think we might be able to blow this one out. Yeah, rather than a whole bunch of fines, you know, dirt and stuff like that getting inside there, it looks more like it was larger grass particles. And ideally, a lot of that you can get cleaned out of there. It's when the fines get caught up inside there, you know, fines like a super thin sand, dirt, things like that. She is right on the full mark. And that oil is super clean. Now let's take a look and see what the blade looks like. If you're flipping a mower, always air filter side up. So, no, the blade is even sharp. Yeah, this thing doesn't have a whole lot of runtime on it. Yeah, the blade's even sharp. It doesn't have, it's not all dinged up. This thing's actually in really good shape. I think we just want to give it a try. Let's see if that carb clean out actually fixed it. All right, let's see. Guaranteed to start, huh? There we go. Yeah, that one's done.